Hey YouTube, today we are going to be taking a look at my XD-S 9mm and what I have done to it to make it a gun that I really enjoy shooting. To tell you the story of how I got this gun, I was looking for a good concealed carry, and I knew I wanted 9mm, which I believe is a good compromise between capacity and stopping power. So a buddy of mine had a neighbor who owned one of these. So I took a look at it and thought, yeah, that's one to consider. And the next week I went to a gun show, and that way I could touch and feel and hold all the different single stack 9mm that I was looking at that were candidates for purchase. Well, I went to the gun show, and the first one of these I picked up, I really didn't like it. I didn't like the way it felt in my hand. It just felt bony. That's what a friend of mine said, and I really agree with him. The grip, the way it is stock, it feels bony. It's skinny in the hand. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't fill out the hand and feel right. I held some other single stack 9mm that felt a lot better in the hand, so I originally thought this was the gun that I was going to buy, but after holding them at the gun show, I was a little leery about it. But I held off judgment until I actually got to fire one. So the next week, I went to the gun range and rented some guns and tried them out, and that just confirmed what I had thought at the gun show. I really didn't like the way it felt when I was shooting it either. So I liked some of the other single stacks better. The way I like the trigger on it. I liked the way it shot. I just didn't like the way it felt in my hand. So it wasn't very comfortable for me to hold. And I have probably small to medium hands, and it just didn't feel right. So I was trying different guns, and at the end of the day when I'm done shooting, I'm getting ready to go check out, and I thought, well, I'm not getting the XD-S. But then while I'm standing there at the counter, I see a sign that says 30% off on all Springfield guns. So I asked the guy behind the counter, what would that make that gun? How much would it cost? And he came back and he said $350 plus tax. And that's a $500 gun. At the time, I believe the retail on this gun at that gun shop was just over $500. So for a $500 gun, I could get it for $350. I said, well, I'm going to buy that gun, and I'll see what I can do to make it a gun that I enjoy shooting. If not, I'll sell it, and I can at least get my money back. So for $380 out the door, tax, title, license, I brought home my XD-S. I immediately started looking around to see what I could do to make it feel like a better gun, to make me feel like I like shooting it. And the first thing I did was I bought the Pearce Grip Extension right here, and that allows you to get all of your hand on the gun, and that made a big difference. But it still felt bony in my hand. So even though it was better, I still didn't like it as much as I should. So the next thing I bought was this grip sleeve, and the one that's on here now, this isn't the original one I bought, but this is the one I like the best. This is a Hogue Handall Jr, and it was a tight fit to get it on there the first time, but it fits, and with that on there, this gun feels great in my hand. That made a huge difference. I had originally bought a different sleeve, like Prackmere or something like that fit on this, and it made it feel better, but the Prackmere was a little bit thicker and a little spongier, so it felt spongy in your hand. It didn't give you the firm grip like this Hogue Handall Jr does. And so that was the second thing. And the third thing was, of course, the extended magazines. Now the XD-S, it doesn't come with extended magazines, it just comes with two flat, flush-fitting magazines. But with the extended in there, that just gives you the good handhold, gives you the full grip. It just feels good in your hand. Now, for me, I actually have the small, because the XD-S comes with interchangeable back straps. I actually have the small back strap on the gun itself. That's what feels best for me. But I have the large or the large extension sleeve, I guess you'd call it, on there, and they don't line up perfectly. You can see that the extension sleeve sticks out a little bit further than the grip handle, but that's just what feels good in my hand. When I put the small one on there, it doesn't feel right here in my hand. It doesn't feel as secure. So that's how I like to shoot this gun. And then also you can see I've got the Viridian C5L tack light and laser combo, and I can tell you the reason I bought that in another video. That's a whole nother video, but that's what it is right there. Now this, like I said, it took this from a gun that I really didn't like shooting to one that I really enjoy shooting. It's very comfortable to hold now, and it shoots pretty well for a little subcompact 3.3 inch barrel. I'm not a marksman or anything, but this one shoots pretty well even out at distance. So if you've ever thought of getting an XD-S but you feel the same way I do, you just didn't really like the texture of the gun's a little bit rougher than I like too. I like some texture, but the rough stippling that they have on the grip, after a while of shooting, it just wears on my hand. So with this Hogue Handall Jr on there, it just feels perfectly in my hand. It's got some texture on the grip, and it just feels right. On another note, this isn't really a review of the XD-S. You can find those all over YouTube, other than to say that I really enjoy shooting this gun, and I've shot probably close to 1,500, maybe even 1,700 rounds through it, and I have yet to experience a failure of any kind that wasn't either shooter related or ammo related. And I have shot some of the cheapest ammo. I've shot reloads through it. I've shot steel case tull ammo. I've shot everything I can find, and it's worked flawlessly, like I said, other than operator error or ammo error, and that'll be another video as well. There is one or two little issues with it that can be overcome, but those are things that are well known with these guns, and hopefully I'll get around to doing another video to show what those issues are. But like I said, most of them can be overcome just by the way you use the gun. So if you have any questions or comments, post them down below. Thanks for watching.